guys, welcome to Stacking the Shelves for the last 4 weeks, kind of like the last week of November, the first 3 weeks of December. I keep ending up posting these on the third or fourth Saturday of the month. So so this is Stacking the Shelves for the books I received in the last 4 weeks. I did get 11 new books. I'll go ahead and start going through them. I have been accepting some review book requests, not very many, but a few. The ones I got for this section of Stacking the Shelves. First one is Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. I got this through Edelweiss. This publishes the end of April 23rd, and it sounds like it's kind of a science fiction book about humanity has survived a whole bunch of climate change crises, and there's a girl who offers to go do some spying at some remote camp in order to help her climate change displaced mother. I don't know, it sounds kind of like an interesting world, and they actually reached out to me through Edelweiss, and I thought it sounded interesting enough that I was like, yeah, sure, I'll read that. Michelle Min Sterling, this is her debut novel, so that will be interesting to read. All right, the second book I got for review is Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. I got this through NetGalley, and it comes out April 11th. It is shorter. It's 150 pages. It's more of a novella length. I have been wanting to read a book by Fonda Lee. I know she came out with, I don't remember the name of the series, but the first book in the series was Jade City, and I really wanted to read that. I actually have it on my to-be-read list at some point. So seeing this Untethered Sky book come out with her is a good opportunity to read her. This one sounds more like a fantasy. It sounds like the main character's brother gets killed by a minotaur, and then she learns how to pair with a griffin or some other fantasy flying creature to go hunt down this minotaur. It sounds fun. It sounds like fantasy adventure, something I would definitely like, so I'm excited to read that. All right, I did buy 2 books as well. The first one I bought, I actually have in paper here, and that is Witch Hat 8 Lear Volume 10 by Kamomi Shirahama. And, I really have enjoyed this series. The illustration is really high quality. They're just kind of fun fantasy reads. I will say I'll give mini reviews for some of these that I've read. So I have read this. I felt like it was a little more transitional. There wasn't as much exciting that happened in here as a lot of the other books are. It's a lot of them preparing for this performance at this festival and stuff like that. So still really enjoying this though. Very high illustration quality, and I highly recommend this manga series if you're into fantasy manga. Nice thing too is it's kind of, I'd say all ages. I think it says 10 plus, but it's pretty much like a middle grade level fantasy read, and I still read them. I'm the only one in my family still reading them because I really like them. They're just fun. All right, the second one I bought is Sweep of the Heart, which is the 5th book in the Innkeeper Chronicles by Alona Andrews. This has been a really fun series that Andrews actually publishes. It's a husband and wife writing team on their blog serially, but I like to read them when the books come out. And it's about a living inn named Gertrude Hunt, that the lady who is become the new innkeeper has to deal with all these crazy things. And it's not your normal inn. It's an inn for intergalactic aliens and people to come stay at. So she's always kind of navigating some interesting politics. So there's both some sci-fi elements, there's some paranormal elements. Very well done, very fun. Every time I read an Andrews book, I'm always very impressed just by what a complete story it is. There's always a lot of action, a little romance, wonderful characters, amazing world building. So it's a really nice complete package. All right, so on to audiobooks. I did read 3 audiobooks. I'm actually finishing up the 3rd one now, but I did get and read 3 audiobooks in the last month. Again, I borrowed these through the library, so I did not buy these. The first one that I got was Annihilation, the first book in the Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. I've been wanting to read this for a while. I did read Vandermeer's City of Saints and Madman a while ago, and it was interesting. I kind of like the whole Lovecraftian influence. It was interesting, but a little wandering, a little hard to stay engaged in. Annihilation, I also gave, in their mini review, I also gave like 3 out of 5 stars. It was fine. It's science fiction. It has to do with this team of researchers that's going into this blighted place or it's called like Areas X or something like that. Um, and they're trying to recover another research team that got lost there. And of course, you find out all this weird stuff. Again, this is another very like Lovecraftian influence, like madness and infection and stuff like that. um, it was fine. The story itself is a little, towards the end, it gets a little wandering and the ending's pretty abrupt. And I know it is a series. I don't plan on reading anymore. I had a really hard time staying involved in it. So, if you're into the more like ambiguous, weird madness, viral and not really viral, fungal infection type of thing, it's might be interesting to you. The second one I got for audiobook is Pan's Labyrinth by, I'm going to say it's wrong, Guillermo del Toro and Cornelia Funke. I actually didn't realize if this book came first or if the movie came first, is if this book is based on the movie. This was another one I didn't review very well. It was hard to listen to an audiobook because it goes between the main character, Ophelia's story, and then it kind of goes into all these little like fairy tales and folk tales. But on the audiobook version of it, it's really hard to tell when that transition happens. So you'll be listening to it and you're all like, wait a second, now I'm back into a fairy tale. I'm not actually listening to Ophelia's story. It does do a good job of filling in the background of the movie. So like I watched the movie like a long time ago. So I don't remember it really wonderfully, but I do remember that the backstory wasn't like, it was a little hard to figure out. So this is a good job of filling that out. The narrator itself sounds really good and the narration is done well. As I said though, it's hard to figure out the transition between Ophelia's story and these fairy tales that are like interwoven within her story. So it's not very long. I think it was like a 6-hour audiobook or something. I had a really hard time getting through it just because it was kind of boring and it was hard to follow. And so not my favorite. All right, third audiobook I got is just a flat out guilty pleasure holiday time humor romance read, and that is Lovelight Farms by B.K. Borison. This was on a list of fun holiday romances that I read somewhere online, and I thought it sounded cute. It's basically about a woman who buys a Christmas tree farm, and things aren't going very well for her because of some things that are happening around the farm. She signs up for a contest to have a big influencer come out and spend time at the farm, hoping it'll get her like a lot of publicity. But in there, she lies about the fact that her and her boyfriend own the farm to make it sound more romantic. And now she's trying to find somebody who will be her fake boyfriend while the influencer is staying out the farm. And she ends up asking her best friend of like her whole life to come out there. And so he comes out. And the whole thing is very funny and cute and just super holiday, cozy, romancy fun. It is a friends to lovers type of romance. There is a little bit of a mystery, but that's definitely a backseat to the main character and her best friend navigating this fake boyfriend girlfriend relationship they've put themselves into. But as I said, very funny, very cute, perfect holiday setting. I'm almost done. I just have a little bit left of it, but I have been loving it so much. I've been laughing out loud. It just makes you feel good. And I would recommend it if you're looking for a cute, like cozy holiday romance kind of read. And I probably will read the rest of the series. I don't read a lot of straight contemporary romance, but I do like to, once in a while read one. So I'll probably read the rest of the series. I probably won't read the second, third books for a while, but it was pretty good. All right. And all the rest of these I've already read, so they'll all have many reviews as well. So I did get some books both from the library that I borrowed and from Kindle Unlimited. From the library, the first one I got was Wind Daughter by Joanna Ruth Meyer. This is the second book in the Echo North series, which I absolutely loved. Again, this is a fantasy adventure read with a lot of very heavy fairy tale themes. Beautifully written, absolutely perfect winter read. The main character is dealing with the Lord of Winter and all this stuff. I live in Minnesota, and it's kind of fun to read. At least at the beginning of winter, it's fun to read these nice, cozy, like wintry reads. I loved Echo North. If you loved Echo North, I think you'll really like Wind Daughter. If you at all like adventure fantasy with like a fairy tale feel to it, I think you'd really enjoy the series. I absolutely love it. All right, the second one I got from the library is The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. This is the second book. I have written down the Great Cities trilogy because it was originally supposed to be a trilogy, but the second book is the final book in the series. Incredibly well done. Again, this is about New York becoming a sentient city. There are the 6 boroughs and then New York itself, which are represented by people, and they're trying to combat an, I guess, multi-dimensional creature that's trying to like take down the city and eventually take down our world. Really well done. I loved it a lot. This one was actually pretty easy to read. Some of Jemison's books, like the concepts are pretty complicated and they take a little more effort to read, but I thought this was pretty much effortless to read. There are a lot of characters in here, but she did a very good job of keeping track of them. I desperately hope she's going to have more books in this world, because with all the cities around the world, there's just so much that could be done here. Anyways, she made a duology. She did a great job on a second book, and I really enjoyed it. All right, the third book I got from the library that I borrowed is Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion. This is the second book in the Legend Board cycle. This one was also amazing. It's a young adult, I guess I'd say kind of urban fantasy, but more fantasy. It's based around a whole bunch of Arthurian mythology. These teens have inherited the Knights of the Round Table's powers, and they have to fight shadow creatures, kind of demonic creatures that come in to cause issues in our world. It started out a little bit slow, I thought, but then once it picked up, it really picked up. There's a lot in this book. A lot happens. The character changes a lot throughout the book. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely excellently written, and I'm very excited to see what the next books hold for that. So again, a lot of hits for me. You'll probably hear about these again when I do my best books of the month. The last book I have to talk about is one I got through Kindle Unlimited, and that is Magical Midlife Challenge, which is the 6th book in K.F. Breen's Leveling Up series. This has been a very fun, like paranormal, shape-shiftery type of series that features characters that are more like in their 40s, so they're more midlife. And this has just been fun. There's amazingly fun, quirky characters in here, and our main heroine has inherited a house and finds out that she's part gargoyle, I guess. So it has like shape-shifting gargoyles and normal shapeshifters like werewolves and bears and stuff like that, but also a lot of magic. There's mages, and very fun. I think it's been very well done. I've read a couple other of K.F. Breeden series and haven't liked them as much, but this one I'm really, really enjoying. And I'm in the middle of reading this book right now. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and it's been absolutely fantastic. A lot of action, a lot of humor, a lot of magic and crazy stuff going on, a little bit of romance as well, and it's just been very well balanced. I've been enjoying a lot. So those are the 11 books that I got over the last 4 weeks about. I do plan on doing a few more video posts since I will be on Christmas break coming up here. I'll do some videos that I can schedule. I am going to go ahead and at the beginning of the year, I talked about the top 10 authors I wanted to read in 2022 that were new for me. I did get through all of those, so I will be doing an update on that. I also did a video on the top 20 books I wanted to read in 2022, and I did get through all of those, so I'll be doing a review on that. Aside from that, that's all I have. It's been very, very cold, and it's going to get colder here in Minnesota. I think the high on Wednesday is going to be -5 with a -30-degree wind chill, and they're talking about a blizzard, so we might get another 10 inches of snow. It depends. Blizzards are defined by like temperature and wind speed and amount of precipitation, so like it depends how all that lines up as to whether or not it's official blizzard. But either way, it's going to make things difficult, which is nice because I'm not working, so I plan to stay home and reading and playing video games and working out inside the house. We have our workout equipment in the basement for a reason, because for at least 4 months we can't do a whole lot outside. I mean, we can, and we do like some snowshoeing, and we still go walking outside and stuff, but once it gets that cold, it's really hard to do. And hopefully it'll warm up. It looks like we're only going to be in that cold snap for about a week, and then we'll warm up a little bit into the 20s again. Other than that, we been getting into Christmas stuff, did some stuff last weekend. We'll do some more stuff this weekend. Of course, we have family to visit and all of that. So I hope that everybody is having a wonderful Christmas, and that you get some great books too, because it's always fun to get books as presents. So with that, I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season. I hope you get a lot of great books to read. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.